Good morning everybody. Myself Ajay Sidpara from Mechanical Engineering Department, IIT Kharagpur. I am offering a new course on Introduction to Mechanical Micro Machining. You have seen different type of machining like a milling, machining operation, then lathe operation, drilling operation. Mostly they are operate at a very large scale. That means your cutting tool diameter in terms of a millimeter scale. You are starting with a 2 millimeter, 5 millimeter, going high with a 10 millimeter, even 15, 20 millimeters also. But now you can think about machining at a micro scale, that you have a drill bit with a 100 micron diameter. You have end mill cutter with a 200 micron diameter. Now you can think about how do you machine those type of components where you want to create some type of micro features. So this course is more dedicated to the mechanical micro machining, where we will take maximum discussion about the micro milling operations, where end mill cutter diameter is starting from 100 micron and it goes around 500 micron only, not more than that. And you also know that there are a lot of different components available where you do micro machining operations. The very old example is the dial gauge of your wristwatch. Now if you open it and you will see that there are small gears and there are small cavities available by which you can do fitting or assembling of a different gears. Now you think that how do you manufacture this type of, or how do you machine this type of small features by different machines. So this course is more discussed, will be more concentrated on the machining or the practical aspect of the micro machining operation, rather than going into the more detail of a theoretical treatment of the subject. So we will see that what are the different components available in the micro machining center, so that this machining can be performed at a micro scale. You cannot use a small micro cutting tool at a conventional machine or even a CNC milling machine, because you need some type of features which is important to make sure that you can actually cut the material at micro scale. So there are problems or there are issues related to the machine tool structure itself. What are the different components you are using, the motor which we are using, or which motor, as well as some type of encoder what we are using in conventional CNC machine, that cannot be used for the micro machine, because you need very stringent dimension control over the surface. So we will discuss more about the different type of components, what are the supplementary components available related to the sensors, then encoders, the spindles available with a RPM which goes to 3 lakhs RPM or something, those are called air spindle. We will discuss all the different components of those parts. And now you see at the bottom scale, now you can see here there are two different cutters available. This is the end mill cutter, this is also end mill cutter. But if you see the dimension, this is a 10 millimeter dimension diameter, and this is the 0.5 millimeter diameter. This is right now available with me. Right now we have diameter with a 200 micron also, but it is very difficult to visually see here. So this is a 0.5. Now you can understand that when you want to do machining with this cutter and when you perform machining with this cutter, those two phenomena are different. You will get a different physics or different mechanism by which material is removed by micro machining, and same thing you cannot get the machining or the mechanics in the conventional micro machining. So we will see that what are the differences in terms of mechanics, process parameters, as well as in terms of machine structure. So those things will be discussed in this course, and at the end we will discuss something about the different type of sensors which can be used for monitoring and control of this micro machining. Because you will understand that when you do machining at a micro scale, you cannot even visually see the where is the cutting tool and what happens, whether it is cutting the workpiece or not, because nothing is visible when you talk about the dimension less than 0.5 millimeter. So you need some magnification camera, you need some supporting sensor which will give you some indirect signals in such a way that you can monitor the machining process. So we will discuss this type of things and metrology. Then once machining is over, how do you characterize the component, whether you have cut a slot with a perfect dimension or not, depth wise and the length wise, as well as the width wise. So we will see some of the instrument which can be used for the post processing or the characterization of the machining component. And I hope this course will be very useful to you, and it will increase your knowledge about the micro machining operations and the micro cutting mechanisms. Thank you very much.